All right, hello, welcome back. I'm going to go through the Unit 9 review for our test. I'm going to go through all of it just in case there was something that you missed in class or you didn't get to go over with your group while we were doing the review. So we'll go through all of it, make sure that you've got it completed and turned in so that you can get those bonus points, like always. So the first one, opposite sides on a parallelogram are congruent. Okay, they are congruent. So that's opposite sides on a parallelogram. They are congruent. Now, opposite angles on a parallelogram are also congruent. Okay, now consecutive angles on a parallelogram. So that's like the two corners. So if we have a parallelogram here, it'd be like this one and that one. Those two together are supplementary, which means they add to 180. All right, next thing, diagonals in a parallelogram bisect each other. Okay, diagonals on a rectangle are congruent. Diagonals on a rhombus are perpendicular. Okay, squares have 4 right angles and 4 congruent sides. Okay, 4 congruent sides. And then kites have 2 pairs of congruent consecutive sides. All right, so these things here, 1 through 8, you've really got to make sure that you go through and kind of like memorize these, commit them to memory so that you can answer all the questions on there, because there are quite a few questions on the test that do come from these things. All right, given the parallelogram below, find the length of QT. So we're trying to find this side right here. So this is a parallelogram. So I know that my opposite sides are congruent. So 2y plus 12 should be equal to 4y minus 4. So now we just solve. Minus 2y minus 2y. So 12 is equal to 2y minus 4. Add 4 to each side. 16 is equal to 2y. Divide by 2. So y equals 8. But they want the length of QT, so we have to plug in. So you have to do 2 times 8 plus 12. So that's 16 plus 12. And so you get 28. That's QT. Okay, next one. It says, given the parallelogram below, find angle S. All right, so we have angle S right here, that's 10N, and then angle R, that's 8N. They're right next to each other, so angle S plus angle R equal 180. So 10N plus 8N equal 180. So that's 18N is equal to 180. Divide by 18. Divide by 18. So N is equal to 10. Now we have to plug that in. So angle S, it's 10 times 10. So that's 100. So angle S is equal to 100 degrees. Okay, next one. Given the rhombus below, find the value of angle MOB. Okay, MOB. So at this half right here. Okay, we're looking for just this part right here. Now, what we got to do is we got to recognize this 11D plus 13 is pointing to this right here. Now, this is a rhombus. And if you look back up here, a rhombus, it says the diagonals in a rhombus are perpendicular. So they meet at a right angle. So this here is 90 degrees. So this 11D plus 13 has to be equal to 90. I'm not going to touch the 60 plus 3 yet because I already know like one thing to figure out the measure of D, and that's all I need. So take away 13 from both sides. So we get 11D is equal to 77. Divide by 11, divide by 11. So D is equal to 7. Now, MOB, that's this half of the angle right here. This other half is 6D plus 3. Now, it's a rhombus, so we know that on a rhombus, our diagonals are cutting these angles into 2 equal parts. So whatever this 6D plus 3 is, that's also what this MOB is right there. So we just plug in. So 6 times 7 plus 3. So that's 42 plus 3, which is 45. And that's the measure of angle MOB. 45 degrees. Okay, now number 12, same way. We've got this 2y minus 7 right here. And again, we want MOB. So this is the one we want. So it's the same thing. And they've told us here that this 90-degree angle is equal to 12y plus 30. So 12y plus 30 is equal to 90. So take away 30. So we get 12y. 12y is equal to 60. Divide by 12. Divide by 12. So y is 5. Okay, y is 5. And now again, MOB is going to be equal to this 2y minus 7. So 2 times 5 minus 7. So 2 times 5 is 10, minus 7 is 3. And that's the measure of angle MOB. Okay, next one, 13. Now we've got a kite, okay? They tell us the measure of angle DAX. Okay, so start at D, and we go here to A, and then X. So this little angle right there, that's 32. And then it says XDC, so XDC, so that's this one right here. That's 64. And then they want us to find XDA, so XDA, so they want this one. Okay. Now, it's not 64 because on a kite, this diagonal up here is not bisecting this angle. It's not the same. So we just got to know this one here. And really, this 64, we don't need it because we're going to concentrate on this triangle up here. Because we know that this corner right there is 90. So the triangle we're looking at, we got 90 right here, and we got 32 right there. So we do 180 minus 90, which is 90, and then take away 32. So that's going to be 58. So the measure of angle XDA is 58 degrees. All right, next one. Okay, given the kite below, the measure of angle WXY, so here's WXY, so that's this whole thing right here, is 104. And then the measure of angle VYZ, so this is VYZ, is 49. They want us to find the value of angle VZY. So VZY, they want this one. Okay, so in this triangle, we know this angle right here is 90. Okay, we have a 90 and a 49, and we're trying to find the third one. Do we even need this 104? No. Okay, so just ignore that. So we do 180 minus 90, which is 90. Y'all should be noticing that pattern by now. And then take away the 49. And so 90 minus 49 is 51. So the measure of angle VZY is 51 degrees. And there we go. Okay, next. Number 15. It says, given the trapezoid below, find the value of the mid-segment. All right, remember this is the top plus the bottom divided by 2. So 13 plus 15 divided by 2. So 13 and 15, that makes 28. We have 28 divided by 2, that's 14. So EF, the mid-segment, is 14. Okay, this one again, same kind of thing. So top plus the bottom, divide by 2. So 21 plus 33 divided by 2. So 20 and 30, that's 50, and 3 and 1, that's 4, so 54 divided by 2. It's going to give us PQ, which is 27. So PQ, 27. Okay, number 17. Given the isosceles trapezoid, find the measure of angle V. Okay, remember on your isosceles trapezoid, these two angles are congruent and your bottom two angles are congruent. So we have angle Y, so that's going to be congruent to angle V. So angle Y is congruent to angle V. So therefore angle V is 70, just like angle Y. Okay, now this one, it says given the isosceles trapezoid, find the measure of angle F. Again, angle C and angle F are congruent. So angle C is congruent to angle F, and so therefore angle F is also 60. Okay, 19. Kyle is a parallelogram, and they tell us that YL is 12, YB, so only to right here, is 13, and the measure of angle YKE, so YKE, so this right here, is 50. They want us to find BE. So they want us to know just this one section right here. Okay, now y'all, this is a parallelogram. So in a parallelogram, remember, your diagonals bisect each other. So this part right here is congruent to this part right there. So if YB is going to be congruent to BE. So if YB is 13, so is BE. So BE is 13. Okay, 20. Same kind of thing going on here. Kyle is a parallelogram. YL is 10. LB is 15. And the measure of angle YKE is 60. And they want us to find BK. So again, LB is congruent to BK because it's two halves of the same diagonal and it's a parallelogram. So BK is 15. All right, last two. Given the rhombus below, find the value of SC. So SC is right here. It's this side. Now this is a rhombus. So what do we know about rhombuses? All four sides are congruent. So we know that this 7x and this 5x plus 13 have to be equal. And once we find x, we're going to plug it in for one of them. And once we know one of them, we know all of them. So take away 5x. So we get 2x is equal to 13. Divide by 2 on both sides. And so you get x is 6.5. And now all we have to do is plug in. So we'll do 7 times 6.5. which gives you 45.5. So SC is 45.5. All right, 22. And again, we've got a rhombus. They want us to find RI. So that's this side right here. And again, all four of your sides are going to be congruent. So 6B should be equal to 4B plus 9. So minus 4B minus 4B. So 2B is equal to 9. Divide by 2. So B is equal to 4.5. And so now all you got to do is plug in 6 times 4.5. That will give you 27. So RI, so each of these is 27. So RI is 27. Okay, y'all. So that's it. Just make sure that you go through and study these. There may be one where they ask you about angles in a parallelogram. So for instance, like number 9 here, let's say that they wanted you to find maybe angle Q instead of the length of one of these sides. They might ask you something like that. But that would be pretty much it. So make sure that you are familiar with how to work out all these kinds of problems. Make sure that you know about kites, okay? And make sure you know these other definitions, because that will be very important for the test. So study hard, and I'll see you tomorrow, and good luck.